Good evening, mortals. Hello.
Hug me, Daddy.
Hello.
Hi.
Silence.
He went to a be right back screen.
Let's try this again. Good evening, mortals.
Sorry, here.
Good evening, Jord.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Exalted.
Do you expect anything less?
Ah, God. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Welcome to Exalted. We're starting Act 2 today. I'm very excited because the characters get all their questions answered today. It's really a cool, exciting thing. How's everyone doing? How's all my friends doing?
I am not dying.
Good.
That's good. That's good.
George, did you read the pre-bench?
I did not. Ooh, and I forgot something else too. There's a spell circle inscribed on the ground with a tiny item in the middle. Chat approaches the
A shiny item.
Chat approaches the shiny, hesitant. As they stepped into the circle, it activates, and delayed blast pre-benching goes off, obliterating Chat. Chat wakes up in a cave. It is dark. Oh no! Do you know what that is, guys? I think I've told you.
You have explained it, yeah.
Horrible. That's very rude. All right, where is... I just need to get something set up because I totally forgot to change the channel points. So right now you could, like, make me reverse my controller, which won't do much.
Summon an army of drowners.
Bum, bum. You can't do that. I turned that extension
Oh,
off.
that's correct. It's not a funeral.
Hashtag
It's not
scared.
a funeral. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Man, hashtag scare. Fuck you, witch. Oh my god, I hate that so much.
Daddy Twitch will get mad. Anyway.
They would not get mad, but I fucking hate that. Okay, so we are playing Exalted tonight. It is session 1 of Act 2. I'm very excited. This is probably where the meat and potatoes of this campaign is going to occur. Everyone's feeling good tonight? Feeling fantastic? Feeling fabulous?
Yep.
And
Yes.
fucking tastic.
I am excited for some answering questions. I am the Twilight.
Yep, can't wait to answer all your questions.
Oh my gosh.
All right, are you guys are ready to get started? You want to start playing Exalted tonight?
Let's do this.
Okay, quick refresher. You guys remember what happened? You went to a party or something, right?
We sure did go to, we hosted a gala, I believe, that was where, you know, the creme de la creme of politicians, celebrities, all sorts of influential folks were invited because we needed to announce the beginning of a foundation that was going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and how'd that go for you?
It was going
very
great.
mad.
Sorry.
Abigail's very mad.
I got plot blocked by Oscar the fucking statue.
You sure did.
It was going great right up until, through no fault of her own, somebody that we had wondered if we would ever see again showed up. Somebody who
Nadia.
Mercy, as far as we are aware, had somehow banished from reality. And it was Nadia, our translator from Egypt, who is now at the party, unexpectedly. And that's where things went sideways. And as we were trying to figure out what exactly happened, and she had a bunch of mysteries for us, I believe it was 13 foot tall.
It was
10 foot.
about 10 foot, yeah.
Okay, 10 foot tall Auric Halcom, so gold plus. Man shows
Yeah.
up, looking like an Oscar, walking, talking, very, very well spoken. In fact, Oscar.
And Ben closed the door in his face.
In his defense, he asked for a moment.
Can I have a moment? Close his door.
He needed a moment to process that, okay?
I've got a lot on my plate right now. Can this plot hook wait?
Looks at the others. Do we let him in? Everyone else? Yes. He looks like he could bend the door in half.
It's a wooden door. Just saying.
I'm now
One hand.
imagining. Do you guys do you guys remember the episode of Futurama where they go to the universe where coin flips turn out the opposite way and there's a golden bender?
Yep.
Yes.
That is now how I imagine Cecil's perfection of industry. Just bite my golden metal ass.
Oh no.
Anyway.
What have we done to Cecil's perfection of industry?
Yeah, he
That
looks
was a
much
perfectly good
cooler.
alchemical.
Yeah, you gave a perfectly good alchemical anxiety.
Oh.
You've ruined a normal boy. Anyway, okay,
Already?
so you guys actually did let you eventually, after quite some time, 30 years, you let Cecil's perfection of industry in, and he said, "Come with me if you want to live, Sarah Connor," and open a portal to Autochthonia, which you guys walked through. That was and then you did I think like 12 microseconds of blue booking.
12 microseconds
yeah.
is correct. I counted.
Yeah.
What did everyone get up to?
Ben got a headache.
Okay.
I wrote.
Just in general.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that was just it. Mercy takes most of a breath in. Ben gets a headache. And James, I don't know if that GIF was actually James or just you kind of like reacting OOC, but hashtag
no,
fascinating and a GIF.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That great blue booking, guys. You're not allowed to insult me this week. I
Fuck you.
feel like we just talked about this. Anyway, great. So we're gonna pick up from there. As you walk through the portal, you come out on the other side, and in every direction around you, you see massive industrialized city. In the center of which there is a large mountain of metal, and in every direction there's a different feature. You can see smoke in one direction, and in another one, the strong scent of oil comes through the breeze. You can see lightning striking in a third direction, and I can't remember what the fourth one is, but it's behind you, so it doesn't matter. Once you walk through, Cecil's perfection of industry turns to you. His neck opens up, two vents appear, steam hisses out, and he says, "My apologies. I had reached high clarity. It has been some time since I've conversed with other intelligent mortal things. This is very awkward for me."
Sorry. To
Same
get
here, bro.
to get a mental image, when you say his neck opens up, like his head just like tips sideways.
No, like two vents open, one on either side of his neck, like gills almost, but made of metal and gold, and they literally vent steam.
Okay, so his head doesn't like hinge back like a Pez dispenser.
No, he is not a giant golden bender Pez dispenser.
Not with that attitude.
Oh god, I really need fan art of what he looks like when you guys are done butchering him.
Oh.
Anyway, no, he vents it and says he says that, and then he says, "Any moment now, Autocthon should be along to speak with us, so long as he remembers."
No sweat, big guy.
And then he just like stands perfectly still.
Okay. This is a lot to take in. Joe's like taking in this. So this city, and it was crystal. It was the other pole was crystal.
Thank you. So yeah, you can see quite a lot of crystal.
Joe's just kind of taking this in. Does he see people?
Yeah, there are people milling about. Well, I mean, they look mostly human. A lot of them look android-ish. Some of them look completely alien. Others look like straight-up dwarves. There's kind of a smattering of a bunch of different interpretations of people.
Okay, alien how? Like unusually tall and graceful?
No, like classical gray alien.
Oh, okay.
They're just walking around, going about their
Alright.
day. couple of them look your way, but that's about it.
On that note, are we standing in like a square or?
Yeah, you're standing in the center of a plaza surrounded by massive office buildings that seem to also be used for heavy industry. It's like every third floor, instead of glass, it's got like pipes and gears coming out of the side of the building, and it's venting smoke and steam.
And the gears are moving, and
Yeah.
like there's like the sound of machinery
Heavy
churning
machinery.
everywhere. Ooh.
It's
What
quite
is-
loud here.
What is the purpose of all this?
He looks and says, I will need you to be more specific. The purpose of all of this is to house the collective souls of Autocthon.
Where did all this come from?
We built it. And then he points up to the sky, which is it looks like someone dumped an oil slick across the sky. There's every color mixing in horrible and unknowable patterns constantly.
Who is we and souls of Autocthon? What is or who is Autocthon?
In that moment, the fountain in the center of the plaza explodes, and a man crawls out of the hole. He stands up to his full height, which is almost 6 feet, and says, "Me!" He's a completely normal-looking man in a simple shirt and pants, except that instead of a head, he's got a actual bouquet made of wire and gears.
When you say a bouquet, it looks like a flower bouquet, but
Like a
it's
flower
made of
bouquet,
wire
yeah,
and gears.
Mm-hmm.
The crap?
No! I am Autocthon, the inventor. And he walks up toward you. His voice is very clearly coming from where his mouth should be.
And just to be clear, is there any skin showing, or is it entirely like?
Just,
okay.
It's like normal neck and then immediate metal bouquet.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you look, you can actually see musculature and like blood pumping, and then the blood doesn't like squirt or anything. It just like it hits the point where there should be head and disappears.
Huh.
Ben
It is-
Ben nudges Darius beside him and goes, hey Darius, is it just me? Or does that guy not have a head?
He walks up and says, I do, but I've stored it in another place. I put it elsewhere. Anyway, I am glad to see you, my friends. I have missed you so. What did you learn?
Looks around at the others.
Do we
Learn
know you?
about what?
Well,
It
no,
is my-
you don't know me, but the thing that I gave you does know me quite well. It must be excited to see me. Everyone in that exact moment feels stress.
Huh.
He says, what did you learn?
About what? It is, I think, my turn to ask for some specificity.
How about snails? What is up with snails? Why is their shell a circle? Are they adapted from sea creatures?
There is a theory.
He turns
about the
around and starts
Fibonacci
walking
sequence
away.
In nature. Oh. Joe's gonna actually slowly
Ceaseless
start to
Perfection of
follow.
Industry says he'll come back. Just wait a minute.
Oh, okay. Joe stops like in mid stride in the process of like tentatively trying to follow.
He turns around and comes back and says, hello!
Hi.
Hello.
It is good to see you, my friends.
I am Joaquin. You can call me Joe. And he kind of like holds out a hand. He like Joe kind of like looks like he's holding out the hand, expecting it to like get caught in a trap or something.
Okay.
But he's still offering it to be polite.
Autochthon looks at the hand, smiles broadly, holds his hand up
how
and
does
looks at it for
How
a
does the
second.
smile happen? I'm really curious.
There's no difference. You just know he's really excited.
Oh, wow,
Like, you
okay,
just
it's
know he's smiling.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, wherever his head is, you can perceive it in a way.
Wild. This twists the mind. Go on.
Yeah, anyway, he looks at his hand, looks at your hand, looks at his hand, turns his hand slowly, and then moves it forward, grabs your hand way too hard, and shakes your hand like he's trying to break it, which he clearly does not have the strength to do, for the record.
Okay.
And he just shakes it until you stop him, basically.
Eventually, Joe will pull his hand back after about 2 seconds of this.
Okay. He says, that was exciting. And then he looks over at Mercy and says, and extends his hand out, just like Joe just did.
Oh, she's still very confused, just like
I just oh my god, this is great.
Once either like a few seconds have passed or Mercy starts to extend her hand, he says, "Oh, I called you here for a reason."
Oh, just for the record, Joe's gonna actually activate Mastery of Small Manners in this moment, so like inform me if I'm about to make a faux pas, but continue.
Sure, but this is Autocthon.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's great.
Good luck.
I know.
Autocthon has mastery of not having any mastery of small manners.
Yeah, fair.
A charm which heretofore did not exist that he just invented specifically to make everyone chill a little bit.
It's great.
Anyway, he says, "Oh, I brought you here for a reason. You must have questions. Does your soul hurt?"
Does my soul?
How would I know?
He goes, "I have no
Does that
idea."
count?
Your what hurts?
My head hurts.
Oh, I have a solution for this. And he pulls a hacksaw out of nowhere.
I do not. My head doesn't hurt anymore. Thank you.
He looks at his hacksaw and says, "Interesting." And he puts it down, which it balances on nothing. And he pulls a book out of his pocket and writes in his book. Closes the book, puts the book back in his pocket, picks up the hacksaw, puts it down in nothing, and it disappears.
So, why'd you bring us here?
Oh, well, I wanted to see if your soul architecture held up, and it did. Fascinating. It seems to have adapted well. Oh, except her. Who are you? And he looks over at Nadia. Nadia is trying to hide behind whoever is large, probably Ben.
We're not sure. She came with us in the hopes that she'll find answers.
Nadia
Kinda
is
like
whispering
us.
something behind you, by the way. He says, "You are very different. You are fast. Can I keep her?"
No.
No. No.
He says,
she's
"Missed opportunity. She is modeled after my humans. But she's grotesque. Very bloated on one side."
Rude.
He looks at you and says, "Is it? Fascinating."
You brought us
Joe's gonna
here.
actively be taking notes right now, as though seeing this person, like, and he's gonna Joe's notes. Actually, I'm gonna put this in the roll 20 so people can see it. But it's like Joe's notes. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it in the Discord. But
He says,
grotesque.
"Oh, I haven't introduced myself lately.
You're Autocthon.
Yes, I'm Autocthon, the maker. And he looks, for a moment, when he looks at you, you can feel the weight of a massive presence. And he says, "I am the architect of the soul." And the entirety of the city around you begins to glow with silver light.
Oh ho ho.
And then he says, "And I didn't make your souls." Fascinating.
And what?
Uh,
I'm confused.
Me too.
Why?
Whoever built you clearly used my designs. After all, you look the same, bipedal, 4 limbs. You have a heart, mostly on the left side. And you've got a soul. I built those. But you've only got one. What the hell is up with that? And it's really dim.
I beg
Even
pardon.
like for a human.
Are we supposed to have 2 souls? Or
Yes.
more?
2 is
But-
optimal. 3 is good if you need an exaltation.
But we are human, right?
Almost, yes.
Almost.
Yes. Well, he points to Nadia. She's human.
Then what are we?
I don't know. Fascinating.
Are we not exalted?
Oh, you are. Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes. The exaltations did cling to your souls. It didn't explode them like I expected.
Oh,
What?
good.
Well, you see, the exaltations were designed with a specific soul architecture in mind. The reason that you gain so much power is because it adds more complexity to your souls, which has a kind of a cascading effect in your essence generation. But since you only had the one soul, I figured it would either burn out and you'd become very weak, or it would burn your other soul out and you would die immediately, probably in a fantastic explosion that would devastate an entire community. But it didn't.
Fun.
How do you feel? Does your soul hurt?
It definitely hurts now.
Really? The hacksaw appears in his hand.
Not in that way. Not. Can we?
He looks at the
it possible-
hacksaw and like holds it away from himself, and he's like looking at it narrow-eyed, and it's like, I have to study this. And he puts the hacksaw on nothing, and it just hovers there.
Can we?
I beg your pardon. We could have exploded. And
Sure,
you know about the exaltations. What? And you
Yes,
seem to know a
I
lot
should.
about them.
I made them.
You what?
Well, I designed them. These ones were given to me by a close friend.
Related? How do I spell your name? Are we even speaking English right now?
No, or yes. What's in English?
So, what are these exaltations for? What are the exaltations for?
To kill my family.
I see.
What?
What?
And why do you want them dead?
Well, I don't anymore. They're already dead. Or in prison. My poor, poor brother. Bastard.
I have a question.
Oh, good.
Can we talk to what's his name? The Unconquered Son? I got
No.
a feeling he may have a better. No.
He isn't here, you see. I don't think he can even hear us right now. Hang on. Big golden-assed friend! When he says that, you feel it reverberate through your soul. Like it's loud enough that you felt it on a spiritual level.
Or perhaps it's loud in ways that aren't to the ear.
Yeah, exactly. And then he waits. Ceaseless Perfection of Industry says you should ask him more questions to get him back on task. He'll be like this for quite a while.
I have many questions. That will be easy. You made these exaltations.
Yes, well, I designed them.
What is, in this case, the difference?
Oh! Well, you see, yours are special. I gave these to my golden friend, and he imprinted himself on them, and then he gave them to me, and then I gave them to you, and then you survived.
Did all of this raw power come from the imprinting you speak of, or from something else?
No.
Where did it come from?
That's a very good question. I can't wait to find out. I knew
Another
once, but I think I cut that piece out.
Ceaseless.
He looks over at his hacksaw again.
Ceaseless said something about.
Oh,
things-
Ceaseless Perfection of Industry! How are you today? How is the Petropolis? Ceaseless looks at him and says, "You should remain on task, Great Maker." And Autocthon turns back to you, James.
Ceaseless said that something on our world. Something about us needing to
Elephants.
go find them. Elephants.
Yes, I've been interested in collecting an elephant. I have a theory that I will be able to find whoever stole my ideas also stole elephants. I would love to find out what he messed up in them.
Joe just kind of looks around at the others for a moment before forging onward. There are things that we are supposed to know, according to Ceaseless Perfection.
Oh,
But we
yes.
don't know. What is it?
I lost something on your world. It's a problem. You should go get it. Back for me. Bring it back here.
What is it?
I don't like talking about it. It's a part of my... And then he disappears. And then one of the
Supposed to
walls
find it.
to the left of you develops a face that's an actual face, and it starts talking to you. The metal just deforms into someone's face. It looks an awful lot like Joaquin.
Oh.
It says, mimicking Joaquin's name, voice, and mannerisms perfectly, it is a piece of my darkness, my sickness. And then immediately after that, the man that had appeared before you falls out of the sky and impacts the ground in front of you. He is standing up perfectly as if he did not just fall out of the sky. This time he also has a head. It looks nothing like Joaquin.
I have a question.
He looks at you.
Are you the reason that most crustaceans try and return to crab?
What is a crustacean? What is a crab? What is... No. What are you describing?
Mercy.
I don't know at this
Of
point.
all the-
I
of all the
figured
quest-
he made everything.
Wait, let me check
Just-
the internet. And his eyes roll into the back of his head.
He
Wait,
has
he has the
access to the internet?
Ceaseless looks at you and says, he will be like this for some time and there's no way to get him out of it. Would you like to go stay at a tea house for some time?
Yes, actually, I haven't had anything... Well, actually, hang on. I was just eating dinner, damn it. I was eating dinner, but I hadn't gotten to my drink yet.
Wait.
Follow me. And he
Wait.
gestures. Then his body opens and a smaller version of himself jumps out. It's about man-sized.
Huh.
What?
He turns and faces you. I didn't think it was appropriate to take my war form to the tea house, if you will.
Should we carry the comatose madman with us?
It does... What? No, that's a tool of his, much like the hacksaw. You are standing on Autocthon. Everything you can perceive is part of him. He is this entire plane of existence.
Oh.
Autocthon is a primordial, a being without limit. He is as safe here as he is anywhere. So, tea?
Yes, please. Can I ask you something? How do I spell his name?
It changes day to day. It depends on what he's done to alter himself.
I'll just pick one.
There are times where his name does not work at all.
Ben lifts his hand like a kid in school. I have a question.
Yeah, he turns to face you.
This darkness sickness thing that he mentioned.
Void tech.
Oh. I was going to ask if it was called Apophis. But
No, not that I'm aware of. Why?
what is void tech? I just
We should perhaps follow me. And he leads you down the street. As you start walking down the street, it turns into a conveyor and carries you down the street much faster than you should be traveling. And there's no wind resistance somehow.
This is a really fast conveyor, then, if that was going to be an issue.
You literally can't, you can't pick out individual buildings without enhanced senses.
We're blurring by that fast.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it stops on a dime, and as it does, Ceaseless Perfection of Industry simply walks off, and you feel no inertia or anything. And he sees he walks into and you see a fairly traditional-looking Asian tea house.
I really hope they have green tea.
As you walk in, there are pretty traditional seating areas. They're a little more Western than I can't remember what it's called. The table with the cloth at the bottom of it. But He sits down
A
at
kotatsu?
a what?
A kotatsu?
Yeah, kotatsu. Thank you. They have traditional tables though, so he sits down around one of the tables, and as everyone else sits down with him, robotic arms come whirring across the ceiling, supported by red silk thread, and put cups of tea in front of everyone.
Oh,
Does it taste normal?
He takes a sip, and as it tastes like quality green tea to you, he says,
oh, thank the Buddha.
"Thank who?"
The spiritual teacher where we're from.
I understand. A minor god, or
Might as well
Kind-
be.
Complicated. Depends on who you ask.
I have a question about this place or wherever. Do gods exist there? As on the world in ways that we can measure?
on your world?
No, you seem to come from somewhere different.
Yes, well, theoretically, we come from creation, although many of us have not ever been there.
Is that a name for the past of our world? Is this the future?
I don't know.
Well, thank you.
Autocthon has been traveling the wild for some time, and we came upon this place. The Maker
wild?
swears he did not create it, but he also sometimes swears that things that he had a part of that he did not.
Memories that he has cut out, as he said.
Or altered, or created. The Maker is chaotic.
We got that.
It is his purview to be scatterbrained.
What is the wild?
He says, "Did you look at the sky outside?
Yeah.
That is raw wild, just outside Autochthon's influence. It is potential without form."
Hang on. You refer to some kind of chaos, before not space, but nothing and everything?
It is. How much of your reality do you perceive? How much do you understand?
Joe really waffles on that one. He doesn't come up with an answer before anybody speaks next.
Is it like the Feywild from Irish legend?
I don't know Irish legend, but
Oh, or like the war?
the Fae do exist, yes.
Good. Oh, good.
What?
In what form do these? So we are not the only supernatural beings, obviously. I mean, look around us, but how does this differ from our world? What separates Autochthon from our reality?
Autochthon is being a creature at a very simplified level. Your world, according to him, is something outside of him and outside of the wild. Something created this in the wild and put you all here for a purpose, I would presume.
So our universe, as we understand it, is like a bubble in this wild?
I think it unlikely that the universe as you perceive it is as large as that.
Joe
James
frowns.
is drinking. James is like, I'm just gonna drink. Fuck it.
James is trying to drink, but his flask is empty. Thanks, Nadia.
Nadia, by the way, is staring at Cecil's perfection of industry, and then occasionally stares at the floor. After a while, she speaks up in a very quiet voice and says, "How much of this is alive?" Cecil looks at her, and says, alive is a loose term here. Everything that you can perceive is functional.
Hmm.
Functional like a machine or functional like a body?
Like myself. You are
And
in
Go
which
my
are
back to
you?
this chair.
you are in my Petropolis. I am this city.
Joe frowns. In the same way that Autocthon is everything in this reality.
Uh, think of Autocthon as the continent, the world that the cities are built upon. The citizens of this city built me to support their interests and their desires, and in turn, I built this Petropolis, this city. It is I and I am it. But both of us exist on Autocthon.
Ah,
This is a lot to take in. Does anyone else have any questions?
You were told nothing at all.
Correct.
what are
Time
the
moves.
void tech things that we're supposed to be finding?
One of Autochthon's souls is dedicated to madness and sickness.
Why?
It is his being. There is no why. It simply is. We believe that some of its influence has reached your world. Voidtech is attempting to cause Autochthon to self-destruct. It is in his nature to be self-harming.
So, like a personification, only more than that of
Yay! Move!
this is a lot to take in. What do we do about it?
You defeat whatever it is placed upon your world, and in so doing, preserve Autochthon's well-being, such as it is.
Zenith.
He looks at you,
I don't
and he looks around at all of you actually in that moment and says, I've never actually met a solar exaltation, though my being is modeled after it. It's fascinating. You're like me, but different.
You know, at this point, you can just call me Mercy. Things are
What is your
Bizarre
actual
enough.
name?
Mercial.
He looks blank-eyed at you for a minute and then, as if waiting, and says, that is all?
Mercial Harlow. Unless you really want my middle name too?
Your exaltation has not announced itself.
No. What?
What?
Excuse me, but you keep referring to our exaltations as though they are a thing.
Yes.
Is there something attached to us now?
Yes.
The source of these powers?
Correct.
How?
I don't understand the process fully, but a exaltation is attached to your soul architecture and it makes you more. However, it does have its own personality as well. It seeks out those who reflect it and imbues them with greater power.
So this wasn't simply random. It wasn't like it seeks out.
Yes.
Huh.
The exaltation is not intelligent in the sense that you and I would think of it, but it does have its own will.
Will, but no personality.
It has personality, no intelligence.
Aye. Joe
Then-
needs the sides of his head, although he doesn't actually have a headache.
Cecil says, you must be the Twilight.
Like a personality Ingram.
Precisely.
Tell me why you think I must be the Twilight. You're right, but
You are complicating matters far more than they need to be.
You know, Joe,
That right.
he's got you.
Joe gives a
Fine.
rueful, like he gives a little more than his usual half smile, like he's trying to keep a control of a genuine grin, and he says, "I suppose you are right. That must be what this Twilight exaltation sought out. What of the others? What are they, well, about?"
Curiosity, I'd like your guess. I mean, I was revealed, but
Very well. He points to Ben. You must be the Dawn. You are quiet and taciturn, but obviously a man of strength.
And shrugs like, it's not wrong.
He then looks at the other two and says, one of you is the night and one of you is the eclipse. He points to James and says, you must be the eclipse. The other has been silent.
Clearly.
And then he looks at you, Darius, and says, which makes you the night.
You're wrong.
Hmm.
I'm not
Grace is
going to
just
lie
shy.
to new allies that we've made.
Ah, that is the eclipse.
Only joking, Cece.
It is understandable. I'm not an automata.
Good to know.
I have not
hey,
spoken
Joe?
this much in many years, but I am not an automata.
Joe,
Yes.
you remember when we were in Egypt and we were looking at that tomb?
I have discovered elephants! The entire restaurant says out loud.
Oh.
Are they
The
in
walls,
the
the
tea?
chairs that you're sitting on, the tea itself, all declares in a booming voice that it has discovered elephants.
Joe actually stands up in
And
a
then
rush.
the table turns into a man.
Uh,
Tea falls off
Mercy-
of him as it does so.
Mercy
Ben picks
was
up
just
his
about
tea.
to. Mercy was just about to put her tea down.
Can I
Hold it
please just
closer to
finish
herself
the
instead.
sentence?
The man turns to you. He looks completely different from before. This time he's got 6 arms, all of which end in a single screwdriver. They are all, as far as you can tell, the exact same head. He's also
Welcome
wet from
back?
tea.
Welcome back, Great Maker.
Thank you. I have never left. You are on me.
So we've
Joe,
noticed.
like really like uncomfortably was about to sit down and then stops sitting down.
You note that Ceaseless's chair fell away and he's still in the sitting position. He fully stands up after a minute.
Joe,
Yes.
remember in Egypt when you were reading those pictures on the wall, you said that the pharaoh lady that we thought might have been a past Zenith was struck down by Apophis.
Autocthon looks at you and says, fascinating. What is in Egypt?
It is a
You figured
region
out crabs yet?
in our no.
Yes, carcinization.
Well,
I did not invent that. Recursive creation is foolish and a waste of time.
you would know.
Yes.
Joe, do you think that this Apophis could have something to do with this void tech?
Joe's gonna slightly turn
All of a sudden, Autocthon gets very serious-faced and says, it does not. Void
makes you
tech
say
only
that?
wants one thing, and it will not work with others. It is a self-defeating influence. I know. I feel it constantly.
Where are we likely to find it?
On Earth.
Did you create all
Also
of the...
here.
Are there other exalts like us
Yes. Thousands.
on our
Thousands?
Earth?
No. No, you are the only ones here.
why?
Wait. Maybe. I could be wrong.
That is not reassuring. Why would we be the only ones here?
I only brought you, and he gestures to the 5 of you. I didn't bring her, and looks and points at Nadia. Did you know that your soul is upside down? Nadia looks at herself and then gets back behind Ben again.
I beg your pardon. You said you brought us. You mean the exaltations? You brought the exaltations here?
Yes, whoever you were before exaltation is meaningless.
Ouch.
Thanks.
I still
You're
like to know
welcome.
Uh,
Most people
that
are
was-
offended by that statement. You're fascinating.
That was sarcasm, Great Maker.
I've learned of sarcasm. Watch, I will do sarcasm. And then he just stands there silent for a while.
Ben leans over to Mercy. Can we go back to the gala?
That's actually a good question. How does time change here versus in our world?
I have no idea.
Oh no.
Perhaps.
One of my brother's fetish souls controlled time, and then they invented a samsara who dealt with the definition of time, and it was the one thing that we couldn't violate at the time, so we did it often.
Wait, a samsara?
What is a samsara?
Ah, a truth, a universal law. Great invention.
Yeah, like
Is
reincarnation.
Oh, you have the idea here. Yes, many things in this world were copied from me. It's very exciting and very frustrating. I'll kill whoever I find here.
what?
Whoever's responsible. They did a terrible job. There's so many things that are almost what I made, but as if it was made by an amateur, a child.
Are you calling our creator, deity, or whatever, a child?
Yes, he's quite inexperienced. It's very clear. You have one soul. What happens if it breaks down?
Souls can break down? I thought that they were, well, you know, if they existed, which clearly they do.
Oh, I can
thought that they
demonstrate. Would
be
you like to see?
imperishable. No. Joe kind of backs away a little bit.
The
I would
hacksaw
like-
disappears again.
No, thank you. We are quite attached to them, given that we only have one, and they can't.
That's good. I'm not certain what would happen if I remove the exaltation once it's attached to something. Probably nothing
about
good.
the exaltations, Joe kind of just looks like he holds up his hands as though he's trying to bring things back on track. You brought them here. You sent them to us.
In a manner of speaking, I lost
You
them.
lost them.
Yes.
How long ago did you lose them?
Ah, well, that is quite simple to answer. How many days has it been since your exaltation?
Blah.
Then about that long. What is a day exactly?
The time in which the Earth circles the sun.
Very
sorry.
convincing.
OOC, I blood the wrong thing. The time in which the Earth revolves.
He smiles and says, tricky. I understand. And he winks at you.
What is a day where you... do days exist here?
Of course.
Darius,
What
we're
are they measured
speaking
by?
Over you.
When the day star crosses across the sky and then goes underneath creation.
Your
What
world
is
flat?
calibration?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Joe just kind of like shakes his head. I don't know what calibration is.
You don't have a calibration. No wonder everything's terrible. How is reality to maintain itself? Is it breaking down? And then he turns into a puddle of acid that burns through the floor.
Can we please just go back to our gala and go looking for these void tech things for you?
Autocthon.
The one of the robot arms all of a sudden shudders and turns to you and makes a little hand talkie motion and says, "Yes,
My friend Darius had a question.
yes, yes." Moose.
I've forgotten my question.
It looks at you and says, "I do that often." And out of nowhere, a hacksaw appears.
Oh,
That,
actually,
please.
it was on the topic of the hacksaw.
The hand grabs the hacksaw. The metallic like 3-fingered claw that was the thing on the ceiling, as it reaches out, grows 2 more fingers, which turn into a brass colored metal that grasps the hacksaw, picks it up and says, "Oh," which comes out of somewhere but beside the hacksaw.
Without demonstrating on one of us, what does that do?
He takes it over to a table and starts sawing the table in half.
What?
The table is sawed in half.
Ceaseless, how do you get anything done around here?
Ceaseless says, with patience.
Clearly.
He says,
Oh.
the Maker created us and loves us dearly. His eccentricities are small in comparison to what he has done to protect and keep us.
Fair enough.
I suppose delegation is an important skill, Joe puts in tactfully.
Ceaseless says, quite.
What sorts of things has he created?
Ceaseless looks at you and says, he is the architect of all of creation, including the very soul that, according to him, your very soul architecture was copied from.
Joe kind of checks his notes. In addition to having fashioned the exaltations,
He did that as well. He is that which creates. Anything that exists by his hand.
Joe needs his temple again. So, look,
the floor reforms where it was melted away by a pool of acid, and a pool of acid stands up out of it. He looks over and says, hello!
Hello. You lost the exaltations,
Yes,
and was this deliberate?
possibly.
You
We
don't
could
know.
check. And the pool of acid shaped like a man walks out of the tea house.
Do we follow him this time?
Ceaseless says, that is wise.
Okay,
And begins following
Joe
him.
goes to do that.
You walk outside, and the puddle of acid that is Autocthon steps on the conveyor, which immediately goes backwards and very clearly has wind resistance because the acid sprays everywhere.
Oh. Is it far enough from us right now?
Oh yeah, he doesn't hit anyone. He does burn the absolute fuck out of everything around, though.
Oh. And it's still like there's acid coming off it, but it still exists. It's like he's still.
No, it blows away pretty quickly. Ceaseless says, I know where he has arrived. Please. And he gestures to the conveyor.
Get on.
Okay, it goes quickly and then disappears into a tunnel. You get the sensation of moving sideways and then up and then upside down, but you don't actually feel any pressure in any direction.
Oh.
And you come
weird.
out and there's a pool of water with obvious cut and weld marks on it. Like, mostly on the metal that's holding the pool, but also some of the water's surface is welded. And Autocthon's original form with a bouquet of gears is standing there. He says, I released them. I wanted you to learn what this was about and find its creator. Look, it says right here, and he points to the water.
Look in the water.
Okay, immediately you're assaulted by the memories of Primordial. So you are going to gain a point of limit.
Yes, I am.
And also, you remember distinctly releasing the 5 exaltations from the carrier that was gifted to you by the unconquered sun, who cried as you departed. Tears of radiance and pride and like the tears of someone who will miss a close friend, a confidant, and even a father figure, which made you feel uncomfortable in a very, very strong way. Like you didn't understand at all what was happening and made you want to leave more. You let those go into the world to discover who its creator is so that you could bring him to justice, ask him why and how he had accomplished this, why he created the world, and also so that you could pick him apart and see if he looked like you on the inside. You also remember cutting this memory out using, and I shit you not, a kerosene blowtorch.
Do we all see this or just
No,
Joe?
just anyone who looks in the pool.
Okay, Ben was gonna look in the pool.
All right, you
Yep.
also gain a point of limit. You perceive this differently. So, Ben, you perceive yourself leaving the people who love you because you know that that will be the most effective way to cause yourself to lose yourself to madness. And if you could cut yourself away from those supports and lose yourselves to madness, you could eventually become the engine of extinction. You also gain a point of limit.
Yeah,
Ben
I'll
tumbles
hop on the
back
train.
and falls on his ass.
So, before anyone else jumps on,
Joe's
they
like
stare at
stumbling
the
back,
pool
like-
for a moment, blood leaks from their nose, ears, and eyes, and they fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Mercy, don't. Don't look in the water. Just don't. He literally grabs her arm and pulls her away from the pool.
Yeah.
Don't.
Autocthon says, fascinating. So, who created this place?
There are a lot of theories, but we don't know for certain.
Why? Who do you pray to?
Causality.
Autocthon turns and says, causality, I command you appear. And nothing happens. But Autocthon goes, oh, fascinating.
Would something normally have Joe? Can Joe speak right now?
Yeah, totally. You just had the brain fuck of a century, but yeah, go ahead.
Joe's like wiping the blood from under his eyes and
you
ears.
note that the blood smells like oil.
He says, what? Was something supposed to have happened? What would have happened in creation?
Oh, if it was a deity lesser than I, and if I may toot my own horn, you hear a horn blaring in the distance, I am a primordial. Very few are greater than I. In fact, only one was, and now he's sewn up inside his own asshole with the rest of the assholes.
I hope you're being figurative.
I am
I
not,
hope you're being
and
literal.
I am.
Yes.
And then he begins to cry.
You good there, Autocthon?
He looks up and says, yes, but no. I can be many things at the same time. He looks over at Ceaseless and says, Ceaseless is part of me as much as the ground you walk on is part of me. I can feel many things all at once. It is more efficient.
Fascinating.
Yes. I also feel hatred for your world. You should probably do something about that.
Autocthon, before we get onto another tangent, what do these void tech things look like? And can we go back home so
like
we
this?
can find
And he
them?
waves, and a what can only be described as a cancerous, meaty tumor made of gears of bone and eyeballs coming out like cameras from the wall appears. And he says, "This is void tech." And as he does that, Cecil's perfection of industry all of a sudden falls to the ground. A full-on like cannon-like protrusion comes from the ceiling and burns away the void tech with flame, white holy flame.
Oh. Like is holy a descriptor here where we can feel it?
You could feel that it has spiritual significance as well as, temperature.
Wow. Okay, and that's just a thing that we can sense. All right.
Autocthon is very, very, very depressed. You are correct, Chad. He helped murder and imprison his family, and he has not been okay since.
Embark on this.
Joe's just gonna kind of go over to the unconscious form while James
after
talks.
the void tech is blown away, it stands up and says, "Maker, please, if you could desist from creating void tech within my Petropolis." And Autocthon says, "Of course, you've asked me before. I will never do it again."
Is that what he said last time? Anyway, no, that's OOC. Go ahead, James.
What aid can you give us?
Oh, I have something for this. And he pulls a box that is clearly open from nothing and says, "In here, I have creations of great power that will imbue you with the ability to fight anything that you can conceive of. It will allow you to change your world in ways that your imagination can only begin to glimpse." And then he looks in the box and it says, "They're gone."
Fuck.
And then he looks at you and says, "Oh, you have them. Good, good, good."
It's the exaltations.
Yes. And then he looks at the box and says, "How did they get out of here?"
You
tricky."
let them go. It's in the pool, but
He looks over at the pool and then looks back and says, "Oh, yes."
I see.
They are sneaky, though. And he holds up the box. He looks over at Nadia again and says, so you are a copy of an exaltation. Or something. Fascinating. Because if you only had one soul, now you have 2 souls, which means you got an extra soul from somewhere. Or a piece of one. It's fascinating. It's grotesque. It's from something much bigger than you are. Are you sure I can't keep her? And he points at Nadia.
Yes.
We're certain.
But I could do so much.
Kidnapping is frowned upon on Earth.
He says, it was frowned upon on creation. I don't think you understand where you are. And again, the city flashes silver and gold and brass, and the entirety of it reverberates with his voice, and he says, I am Autocthon.
Yeah, we
Yes.
figured.
He says, exaltations, I forgot. You can resist. Nadia is bowing, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, but she can't.
And-
So not an exaltation. Weird.
Ben,
Can
you've got
we-
her, yes, please.
Can we just go back to Earth, please? And
Yes, anytime. It's
Do what
right
you need
there.
us
And
to
he
do.
points up in the sky.
Okay, do we see anything?
Yeah, you see Earth and the moon.
Just,
all right, how are we supposed to get there?
He looks at you and looks up and says, well, I'd start walking. Or-
Wait for us to be able to contact
Or he pulls out a hammer. Then he
Jesus.
turns to the wall and starts bashing it with the hammer until he bashes through the wall. And as he does so, you can see whatever he's doing is turning it into a door, a jagged metal hole in the wall style door.
Please
Can I
tell
take
me
a
that
look at-
brings us back to the gala.
Can I
It
take a look
very
in the
clearly does
pool?
not, because you could see what looks like the ocean.
Perhaps
what'd you say
ceaseless
there, Becky?
perfection. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can I take a look in the pool while he's building this door?
Sure. It's just a
Ben
pool.
grips his hand tighter
Oh,
on her
it's just
arm.
a pool.
Don't look in the pool. Trust me, Mur. You don't want to look in there.
It's
I have a
just
feeling
pool.
I have to.
He is shaking.
Okay, when you look in it, it looks like water that's somehow been welded together.
Hmm.
It's not active right now.
Well, Autocthon has remembered it.
Okay, it was a specific memory.
Once he finishes, he says, there! Perfect.
Where does that go? Perhaps ceaseless perfection of industry should do it?
Cecil says, you should take Autocthon's door.
Into the ocean, we'll drown.
If you look closely, you could see that there is possibly a boat deck under the entrance on the other side. There's a railing anyway.
CC,
He says, yes, Zenith.
how close will this get us back to Victoria, British Columbia?
I don't know what that is.
Where
we
you picked
came
us up.
Ah, I have no way of knowing that.
Oh, goody.
We would very much like to return there.
He looks directly into your eyes, Joaquin, and says, Autocthon may seem distracted, but there is always a reason for him to do what he does.
He does seem to know a great deal, and
Autocthon looks at you and says, and gestures to the hole.
Is there a way for us to get in touch with you after we've left here?
Oh, yes! Autocthon hands you a mid-90s cell phone.
Is it a Nokia?
No,
Lord,
it's
a
one of those
Nokia.
big brick ones that, like,
Oh.
legitimately takes 2 hands to use.
Oh.
What's your phone number? I can always just put it in
He
my
says,
phone.
I don't understand.
Oh god,
And then,
I take it.
and then you can hear muffled speaking from the cell phone.
Oh no! Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take
Darius,
the phone.
that's your phone now. I'm not. That's yours.
Yeah, dib's not it.
Dibs, not it.
I'll remember this whenever you guys call me to tell me to call him.
Joe just kind of like leans over to Cece and says, pardon me, Cecilis, but I believe we have your number now. And he holds up his cell phone. Are
Your
we
cell
able to
is
text?
completely normal. There's no texts, nothing. He
Oh,
says,
there's
"Oh no, I simply used your technology to speak with you."
Can we do that again, please, at some point?
Certainly, but I have to concentrate to do so.
Well, check in occasionally if you can.
I will endeavor to, but
we
I
still have
the
lots of questions.
responsibilities of a nation.
Yes, my
Even
apologies.
this diversion has taken me away from that.
Alright.
Okay, Void Tech Ho.
I would begin your search in areas of great darkness, somewhere where a tragedy has occurred.
I take it you mean metaphorical darkness.
Yeah.
So Earth.
He says yes, but somewhere specifically where a great tragedy has occurred.
So Earth.
Is your world so tarnished that that does not help you?
Yes.
For a lot of individual places, yeah.
Perhaps there is reason the Maker thinks that this is a pale imitation.
Well, we're working on it.
Nick, whatever you've got planned.
James is gonna run and jump through the portal,
Uh,
turning around. and
Sorry,
going-
you jump through?
Well-
It's like there's about a foot between you and the railing, and on the other side of the railing is the ocean. You're not sure which one, but there's the ocean.
James will step through and be like,
Cool.
Thank you, you crazy.
When you turn
planet."
back around, there's nothing there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. There's no portal there. There's no, ooh, wife just gave me home-cooked brownie.
Oh, nice.
Probably laced with
Oh.
something.
No, not funny. Rule 7. Wait, maybe poison.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's good. Anyway. Oh, sorry. When you turn around, you're standing on what looks like a private yacht, and there are about 4 people pointing AK-47s at you. I would like to point out, he's the only one who's gone through the portal so far.
Yeah.
Mercy heads through the portal.
Alright, ditto.
Ben follows her.
As everyone goes through, they find that 1, Autocthon is nowhere to be seen. 2, there is no hole, no portal, no nothing. And 3, you're surrounded.
Okay.
Joe's the last one through, and if permitted, he'll actually be the last one through by a little bit because he has a last couple of questions. But I'm gonna let people focus on the interesting action.
I'll head through as well.
Nick, there's something much worse already on Earth. It's in India.
She drops the mote that she's committed to her sword and pulls a sword from nowhere.
Okay. As you do so, as you come through, Mercy, the leader of them, small teenage girl, holds her hand up, and they all put their weapons down, and she says, "You are Zenith, yes?"
Wait, what?
Yes.
She nods and says, "Welcome."
Apologies for our abrupt entrance. Where are we?
You are currently in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
You should not be able to be here, actually. It's quite strange that you found us so easily to appear on our deck. Is there perhaps a reason that you're here?
A mistake of a chaotic world. Apologies.
Is the gala still going on?
She says, "I'm not sure what you're referring to. I
What
have
day
a
is
few
it?
questions for you."
Sure. What day is it?
She rattles off the day. It's the same day as the gala.
Thank fuck.
Go ahead.
Sorry, 1 second. I need to refund someone in chat.
Ben leans over to James and quietly whispers, "You should probably message Abigail. Let her know that we're back, sort of."
I'll have to do it for you later, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, I should.
Thank you, Aki. So, As soon as you guys walk through the portal, by the way, anyone who cared about you has sent you 0 messages.
Seems like maybe time hasn't passed, but we'll see. Can I resolve a last thing before Joe goes through the portal?
Sure.
He's going to turn to the Great Maker and Cece, mostly the Great Maker, and say, thank you for having us, and OC figuring out the wording. How will I know what is this void tech and what is just things being wrong with our supposedly broken world?
He did literally show you what void tech looked like.
Okay. Oh, okay. So does it all look like that?
He says, yes, do you need a reminder? And he
No.
goes to wave his
No.
arm.
No.
It should all look like that, unless it's changed. I am very creative.
And it has all of your creativity, yes?
No, it's terribly uncreative.
One last question.
But it copies.
Why do you
Did
want
I
us...
make this place? He then disappears, just blinks out of existence.
Cece,
Ceaseless perfection of industry looks at you and says, he's still there. He's simply ceased his corporeal form.
and then I forgot my question quickly, but I think it was to the effect of, it was to the effect of, why do you want us to take you apart?
Sorry, you're asking that to Cece?
No, asking that to the world now, because apparently Autochthon's still there.
He says, you cannot dismantle me. No, you should just protect your world. I don't wish to destroy it. After all, it's fascinating.
Maybe I understood
by the way,
something
you're
different from
hearing
the memory.
this not from anywhere. It's just you're just hearing it in your head.
Got it. Okay. Joe's gonna frown. Maybe I misunderstood the memory. It was confusing and confused.
No, it's not. That's normal. And you can feel pride.
Okay. I should join the others. Thank you for your hospitality.
He says, ceaseless perfection of industry provided the hospitality. I have a hacksaw. And a hacksaw appears directly in front of you, blade pointed toward you.
I nod to CC and go through the portal.
Dope. Anyway, on the other side, events happen. And then she says to you, Mercy, I have questions. And then she looks at Nadia, and you see her face wrinkle in a very obvious sign of distaste.
Ben moves Nadia behind his back.
Yeah.
He puts himself between her and this group of gun wielders.
I mean, they put their weapons away.
There are some questions that I will answer yes, but others may go through my lawyers. And she indicates James and Darius.
The small teenage girl looks and says, typical.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Sally. Come on. And she walks into the kind of into the boat.
Down there's like a set of stairs leading below decks.
No. This is a mega yacht.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she just turns around and walks into the boat. You're
The
on
house
like
is
deck
on the
4
boat.
or 5. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
But she walks as she walks through. Everyone she passes salutes her until you get to what is very obviously a conference room. She walks through and sits down. As she's walking away, you notice a few things. One, everyone is saluting her. Two, she's wearing full military fatigues with camouflage and all. Three, she has a pistol on her hip. And four, literally no one is saying any words.
Including her?
I mean, she spoke to you.
Okay, okay, so she's not speaking to our minds because
No,
that would be.
no. This small child does not have telepathy that
Yeah,
you can
that
tell.
was that. We were worried.
Do you have questions?
She gestures and says, do you need anything to drink, or can we get started?
We just had tea.
Yes,
Good.
we just had
How'd you
tea.
get here?
Has Joe showed up?
Yes,
Doors
you're
to
with. The
creation.
group is together.
Did the group show up all at the same time despite the time differential?
Nope.
Like,
No, you were staggered.
I came. Okay, sounds good.
A door through the world.
She
Next
nods.
question.
Where did you find that door?
Oh, it was made by Autocthon.
Who is Autocthon?
Both a person and a world. And
You
a
see
very
her like
eccentric creator.
you see her like touch her head and clearly think and say, okay, we'll gloss over that. You aren't what I thought you were at all. I was very excited that you had decided to come here, but you aren't who I thought you were.
Who did you think? Who did you think Zenith was?
That's classified. Why did you come here specifically?
This is where the door led.
Why is she here? And she points to Nadia.
She's our guide and interpreter.
She thinks for a moment and says, we can speak in English, yes?
Yes.
And I don't see why she's necessary. How do I get you off my ship?
Where in the Pacific Ocean are we?
That's classified.
That's gonna make things complicated.
At that moment, a overweight, like mom-looking white lady walks in, looks at the small teenage girl, salutes, and says, "We have a line on some blanks. When you're done here, do you mind?" And the small teenage girl looks up at her and says, "Get out of here." And she leaves.
This operation.
That's classified.
That's nice.
Classified by who?
That's classified.
We need to get back to Victoria, BC.
Good. She pulls a radio out of her pocket, pushes the button down, and says some words in a language you don't understand, and you can feel the engines in the yacht start to move.
I would like I would like to understand the language for one mote.
It doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah, you immediately know this is not a simple language at all. This is something else.
Yes, and further to that, it is a magic-resistant language because I should be able to understand literally anything.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I was really hoping you wouldn't do that.
Everybody will notice Joe's eyebrows rise, but he doesn't say anything.
Curiosity.
She says, yes, we've got a few days to travel, so ask away.
How did I disappoint you?
I just thought you were someone else. Don't worry about it.
But we've got a few days.
She looks at you, and for a moment you can see like a grief that a small teenage girl should not have behind her eyes. And she says, I would prefer to leave the past in the past and keep looking towards the future, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Got any booze on the ship?
She says, of course. Come with me. We got a bar. And she leads the way.
So, your curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
A strange teenager with a gun and a mega yacht.
Yep. Daddy just loves me, I guess.
And a great deal of classified information.
Daddy is an important person who loves me, I guess.
Forgive me for the turn of phrase, but who's your daddy?
Oh, that's... You've never met him.
And it's classified?
No, you've just never met him, and you really should have. Try not to worry about it too much. We're in the ocean, right? Lots of fish in the sea.
Well, it's gonna be a really uncomfortable couple of days if we're not gonna be honest with each other.
It'll be uncomfortable for you. Not discussing classified information comes to me as second nature. She looks over at you, Darius, and says, I assume that not everyone is uncomfortable with that situation. We can talk about the weather, drinking, what kind of football you like.
Do you know who I am?
No idea, but you're military. It's the way you walk. She looks at you, Ben, and says, you too, actually. Officer, I'm guessing.
What?
No, actually. I've never done military duty.
Hold on. Judge's ear technique on Ben. I want to know if he's lying.
Alright, go for it. What's your guile, Ben?
No guile. He's telling the fucking truth.
It doesn't matter.
Guile is
Talking about
what?
drinking. Well, she's not a teenage... Well, she kind of is a teenage girl.
Your manipulation and
But
socialize
the
are
demon
both
possessing her
one
is
or
very
fewer.
much not.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Perception and investigation. Sorry. One of these days I'll learn how to do this.
Joe's going to actually. Here's a thing that I would like for Joe to attempt to do. He would like to memorize the phonemes that went into the phrase that she said into that.
You can't.
Oh, I don't even get the roll.
Sorry, buddy.
Whatever
Whatever it was, it's so complex.
Yeah.
And it's not just...
There's something unusual
There's
about it that prevents that.
It's not even really that it prevents it. It's like trying to read C++ using I don't know, a magnifying glass. It's just not possible.
Got it. It's just not compatible with memory and understanding.
Whatever charms use to do their thing, it's not compatible. Different OS.
Oh, interesting. I have
Princess Magnificent,
go on. This is
I think.
wild.
So, Ben, you were telling
Anyway,
the
she's
truth.
she's
Yeah.
the highest ranking officer in Lucifer's
Flat
army.
out, he's never done military service.
Fair enough.
Yeah. She takes you guys to the bar, which is staffed by a elderly-looking white guy who salutes her as she walks in the room, and then looks at you guys curiously, but begins mixing drinks.
So, what can you tell us about yourself, Sally?
I'm surprised you're here.
So are we, frankly.
I'm getting that. It's strange. You'd think that you'd have a better grasp of where you were. I'm not convinced this isn't an attack.
We were sent here by what seems to be a thing of elemental chaos that apparently decided we needed to be here. It was beyond our control. You have my word.
I think you may be an outside context problem. To be frank, I'm trying to figure out whether I need to eliminate you or use you.
I wouldn't suggest either.
I understand that, but this is a decision I'll have to make on my own. Wouldn't be very good at what I do if I didn't.
Which is
What do you do?
That's classified.
Joe's. I'm actually just
Math
gonna
class, I think. Wait, no, I hate math class.
two things. One is that Joe is going to use shadow over day in that instant where she says, not not that, but in the instant where she said, I don't know if this is an attack, because that's
Okay.
the moment when he realizes the group of us we may not look like it, but we're in more danger than those AK-47s just being pointed at us. And he's not 100% sure of where the certainty that this is more danger than that is, but so I'm gonna raise my guile to 9.
Okay, Jesus.
For an instant, as he processes that. And the other thing I'm going to do is I want to use Joe is going to. He's been uncharacteristically quiet because he's been listening and watching. He's been watching the reactions of everyone who's come into this room. Not just that they salute her, but how they salute her. The way that
They do so with military efficiency. They stand up perfectly straight when they do so. Like, Darius, looking around, you would die to have these people as soldiers working under you. They're amazing.
Joe's gonna take from that and from like even the speed with which like tiny little cues, like the speed with which that one, what was it, motherly looking person turned on her heel and left when told to get out of here.
Oh, it was actually the exact instant before the words were spoken out loud.
Okay. He's gonna notice all of these details, and I'm gonna try and apply motive discerning technique to figure out what this apparent teenager with way too much clout and way too much world wise and world weary wisdom would be how I define it. He wants to try and figure out what she's really after. What's at the base of all of this? What's
her
defining?
motivation?
What's her motivation in this scene is the farthest I can go with motive discerning technique.
Okay, sure. Do it to
I will roll using personal motes so that was 10 and motive discerning technique takes 3 motes, so I only use 2 motes of peripheral essence, which
Okay.
I don't think is enough to flare.
No, it's not.
So, all right, I will be rolling that in the chat. It's /roll, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm making sure I have the right number of things.
She's just an influencer.
Am I correct that this would be wits and socialize?
Yeah, she's actually only got like 10,000 followers too.
Oh, sorry, no, it's in the charm. I'm wrong. I'm silly.
It's okay. I'm just talking with chat while you get this figured out.
Totally. Feel
sorry,
free.
I'm talking with
Others
the pattern spiders.
Yes.
Nope, she's just an influencer. She's not at all the highest ranking member of the Luciferian faction. A small number of
Okay.
While you're figuring that out,
Yeah, go ahead.
with exceptions, Nick. So this is a place they are actually
just because I had to step away for a second. Are we drinking
Go ahead.
with the teenager right now?
The teenager is indeed drinking. The teenager, which by the way, I don't mean like 18, I mean like 14.
Are you old enough to be drinking?
She looks at you and with an absolutely stone-faced expression and says, "I'm older than I look," and keeps drinking.
How old are you?
She says, "It's rude to ask a woman that," and she goes back to drinking.
All right, then how old are you?
She looks at you and gives you like kind of a disgusted look and says, "I'm old enough that I can drink in international waters where no laws apply." Sorry, this is the Luciferian faction.
Question,
These
did
are
I
all
get
demons
any
on this
stunt?
boat. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 3. You really helped flesh things out there. I like that a lot.
Thanks. So is that 3 dice in this context?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 successes, it looks like.
Nice. So You do so, and the very second you start using essence around you, everyone in the room draws a weapon.
Oh, I stop.
It's too late. It's done.
Yeah. I don't know. It's done because it was instant. You're right.
And
Raises his
you
hand.
discern that her main motive here is to figure out whether she needs to kill you, recruit you, or just leave you alone. And it instantly changes while you're using it to kill you.
Oh, God.
So everyone in the room draws a weapon. She jumps back almost impossibly far, like all the way across the room, and draws her weapon in one smooth motion and has it pointed not at you, not at Mercy or Ben, but Nadia. And she says, stand down.
Wait. I didn't... I was just trying to understand.
She says, explain yourself or I kill her.
Yes, I was just thinking. I suppose I must have been using these
Thinking
powers.
shouldn't use that.
I have so many questions, but I don't know. And he kind of like tries to explain that he.
She says,
doesn't...
put your hands behind your back.
Joe complies.
Okay, someone walks up behind you and puts handcuffs on you. She says, we'll deal with you later.
No one else has been able to figure out when we've used these powers. How can you?
It's clear as day.
I didn't even know I was doing it. I just wanted to
You're
understand.
being taken out of the room.
He's saying that as he's being taken out of the room.
Yeah, okay, great.
And then he leaves. Yep.
She's not lying about her age. She
Ben gets
is
up
14,
and puts
but she's
himself
also...
between Nadia and this lady's gun.
Okay, cool.
With his arms up. With his hands up.
However, you are the Dawn, and you understand the tactical situation you're in, which is that there just happen to be enough people in this bar that you are currently in the middle of an enfilade. There are weapons on every side of you. You can't possibly protect Nadia without some very, very serious magic.
Okay, Sally, I think we need to just take it down a notch here.
She says, you're not dead because I assumed that the rest of you didn't know what just happened.
I'm starting to think you're not telling us the full truth.
You're
Are
correct.
you another
I'm
cast?
not. I have not made that at all a secret.
Yes. Well, here's another not a secret. Right now, as far as I'm aware, none of us mean you any harm.
The fact that your friend just willingly went into a locked room speaks volumes for your innocence. We're gonna keep an armed guard on you, and she puts her pistol in the holster she has on her hips.
Okay.
And she goes and sits at the bar.
Scotch, if you have it.
She nods. The bartender puts down the Desert Eagle on the bar that he was holding, and then pulls out some scotch and pours it, hands it to you. Then picks up the Desert Eagle again and holsters it.
To your health.
She says, to my master, and drinks.
Oh.
Joe, you are brought into a very sumptuously appointed room that has a very, very sturdy door, which clicks as the man leading you puts you in it, undoes your handcuffs, and closes the door. She says, no more of that.
Right.
We're not sorry, this is a different room. You're in timeout because you did a boo-boo. She looks at you, James, and says, no more of that, okay? We're not exactly trusting folk here.
I understand.
You are not in the room!
Oh, I see. Different room. Okay.
Stop!
Okay. This is
Get out of my scene! Yep. You're grounded.
Stopping it. Yes. Sure am.
Yeah. Alright. So we're on a mega yacht. We're a couple
I can't
of days...
figure you out.
What?
You're all something, but nothing we've seen before.
Yeah, and you're clearly something too.
Well, we were here first.
While this is going on, Ben gestures to Nadia for her to stay near him.
Nadia is fucking glued to Ben.
Yeah.
He did get cut.
He is not
feel kind of bad
happy.
about it, but like,
He is not a happy camper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love to know anything that's going on here instead of just stumbling around blindly in the dark.
She says, I think so too.
Whiskey, double, neat, please.
The bartender gives you some whiskey. You note all of this is top shelf liquor.
Mm-hmm. Mercy downs it and then puts the glass back.
Okay, he immediately pours you another. The girl looks over and says, I think so too. Listen, I'm not a diplomat. I'm a soldier. This is strange and outside anything we've encountered, which shouldn't be possible. And our general is not here right now, so I'm trying to do this, but this is outside my wheelhouse. How about we start with an act of good faith? What exactly are you?
I am the Zenith.
I heard that part. And sunlight comes out of your ass. What does that mean?
It means that I was created as a Zenith by the unconquered sun, or apparently Autocthon. And
this unconquered sun, where is his reliquary?
Is what?
What object did you pray to get these powers?
Nothing.
Nothing. What did you pray to get these powers then?
I didn't. I stood between somebody that was being oppressed and somebody that threatened them with a knife. That's what I did.
She, stares at you for a good long minute and says, you're not possible.
And yet.
Which means the war may still be on after all. She leans back and holds a glass up, and everyone in the room cheers.
What war?
The war. Don't worry about that.
Darius, you're fielding my questions from now on. And Mercy continues drinking.
I'm going to look at her and ask, are you like us?
No. Not even a little.
How can you tell when we pull on our abilities then?
You're using the energy around you. It's easy to see.
How? Point it out to me.
You can't see it, bud. Not something humans can do.
Then what are you?
I am late to school.
That's very obvious. What are you aside from human? You are not human. What
I'm perfectly
species
human.
are you?
You cut me and I bleed. I eat shit, get drunk.
And are older than you look.
Yeah, well, you know. You can tell kids these days. I can't get into details like that. We have orders.
From who?
That's classified.
Your general.
Yeah, that's correct.
Who is also your father?
No. No. Oh, you mean my... No, he's dead.
So... what are you fighting?
She thinks for a minute and says, hopefully not you. It's complicated.
I mean, if we know what to look out for.
I don't think I could describe it to you and have you retain your sanity, so I think we'll skip that part. Don't worry about the war, that's us. We'll deal with that. You worry about the things that you are made to deal with. What are those things exactly?
It's classified.
Touche.
tit for tat. I'll tell you if you tell
I
me.
have specific and strict orders to reduce the amount of information that we put out into the world.
I promise I won't tell anyone.
Good.
And, I mean, call it an olive branch.
I am trying to give you as much as I can.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, if I told you the absolute unvarnished truth, one, you'd probably lose your mind, and two, you wouldn't make it off the ship.
I think we've already lost our minds, honestly.
Probably.
He-
Once you
Ben
look
looks at
past the
the-
glass, it's...
Ben looks at the guy behind the bar and goes, "What's strong?"
He points to a just a glass bottle with some clear liquid in it.
Sure.
He pours you a tiny shot glass of it.
Really?
He says, "Trust me."
He shrugs and drinks it. This is very out of character of Ben.
Yeah, you're.
He doesn't
Buddhist.
usually drink alcohol.
Yep. When you drink it, two things happen. One, at first, it just burns as it goes down, like it tastes like alcohol, and then nothing happens. And then after some time, I need you to give me a stamina and resistance roll.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That was basically ethanol. Anyway.
Yeah. Give me a second. It was a
Stamina and
Characters.
resistance. Anyway.
whoa,
She
whoa,
says,
whoa.
so
Stamina
we get you back to where you're
Where's
going. Do you,
Where's my resistance? Here we go.
if you're not telling me anything about your plans, what scale do you work on? How about that? Is that a vague enough question?
Oh, wait. Before you continue, is this against any kind of fatigue?
No.
Okay.
This is getting drunk. That would be a poison.
Yeah.
7 successes. You hold your liquor easily.
Another.
The guy looks at you like his eyebrows raise, and he pours you another.
Ben, trust me, stop after 2. At least for a bit.
This is number 2. Cheers.
As for scale, I mean, we've mostly just been using our own best judgment on what we do.
You're not organized.
We're getting there.
Huh. I'm not sure what to make of you. You're an outside context problem. In the truest meaning of the word. You
I
came
mean-
through a hole in the air onto my ship. From where?
Another world, another dimension, somewhere else. The place your spare socks go? I don't frickin' know.
Spare socks just get lost in the machinery, my friend.
That sounds like an apt description of where we went.
It's the annoying, crazy god you'll ever meet.
I doubt
What's
that.
what scale do you work on?
The greatest of scales. We are global, at least.
Trying to save the world from what?
I don't give half a fuck about the world. We're trying to win a war.
On creation.
I'm sorry?
On creation.
No. I'm trying to destroy creation. I think you're thinking of someone else.
No. You hesitated when you said global. So, creation.
How about everything under God?
What Autocthon was talking about.
I'm sorry, I don't know him.
Creation.
Did she sense when Joe was using personal essence?
I don't want to answer that question. Joe did stuff, and everyone in the room pointed a gun at Nadia.
But his cast mark didn't flare.
No.
Okay.
There's no visual sign. She says, how about this? Let's keep things mortal. We'll just talk about, lost loves. I'll complain about homework. We do that for a few days, then we go our separate ways. How's that sound?
I'm curious why we were sent here.
Me too, but it doesn't sound like you know.
And it doesn't sound like you're gonna give me any clue.
Well, I don't know why you're here either, and until I do, you're the enemy. OPSEC, you know.
What if they're fighting the thing that we were told about? I'll say to Joe. Not Joe.
James?
Thank you. Brain failed.
After a bit of time, Joe, someone unlocks the door to your room and says, "Come with me." You note, Joe, that it is an elderly black man.
Okay. Joe, so just to be clear, everybody turned and pointed weapons at him at the same time without anyone saying
No,
anything.
they all pointed weapons at Nadia.
At Nadia. Oh, never mind that. And so Joe is not going by appearances. He magic is definitely happening here, and he trusts nothing. So
Okay.
only because Joe is very naturally calm-faced is he not like eyes darting everywhere. So this elderly fellow comes to the door, and he's going to treat him with great care, but he's going to follow where he's told to follow.
Okay,
He doesn't want to cause any
you're
more
brought
trouble
back
for
to the
his
bar.
friends.
Sally looks over and says, "Cheers," and holds up a drink. We've settled on terms, I think.
May I know what those terms are?
We're just going to keep it simple. Enjoy your
Yes.
free boat ride.
I'll try not to think too hard about anything.
Yeah, and don't pull any stunts either.
Mm-hmm. He just sits down and stares very hard at the bar.
What I'm curious about is what exactly, and she points to Nadia, are you? Nadia immediately throws her hands in the air and says, "Why does everyone keep asking me that?" And we're
She's
going
a
to end
human.
there.
Oh.
Poor girl.
All right, guys. How is session 1?
Ben is not a happy camper.
No shit, Ben's drinking. That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Joe is silent. That's also a bad sign.
Yeah, Joe's silent and has said he won't think about anything. Ben is drinking. Mercy is hammered.
I'm not drinking.
Yeah. Everything is upside the fuck down.
Yep.
Act 2, Session 1 has been wild.
Yeah. So, God, I can't wait for the wild mass guessing. But it is the end of the night, which means, as always, our players get to vote for who they thought was the best player of the night. And, of course, the pattern spiders get to pick their best friend. I'll set up the poll for that. But we're going to get started with... what did we do last time, left, right? I'm doing... which is going to go first?
Fuck. I just put something
no,
in my mouth.
it's-
Give me a second.
It's voting, actually. It's not that.
I think I'm gonna give it to Joe for the. I'm not gonna think too hard anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As well as him thinking too much in Autocthon or whatever the fuck it's called.
Autocthon.
Autocthon. Cece knew exactly that he was the Twilight because he was thinking too much.
You're overcomplicating this more than you need to. You're like, fair. You got me.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Joe's aware of
that
his
is
flaws.
correct, Moose Spider. It is kind of rude to just ask someone what they are. People keep doing that to Nadia, like she's not even there.
Heck, they've been doing it to us too.
Not nearly as much
Not
as
nearly as much. You're right.
Nadia was threatened with dissection twice tonight.
Yep.
By the same guy, to be fair, but
What an asshole.
okay, so good. Ben, which voted Sue Crown.
I think I'm gonna give it to James. I enjoyed the slight confusion that was given to Large Robo Man in trying to guess the casts.
Mm. Yep, turns out he was wrong.
Good to know.
Okay. And let's go now to Scald.
Darius for telling the truth to Ceaseless.
What did he say specifically?
When asked about the casts.
Yes, that is good. He would have gone on thinking the wrong thing forever, potentially. Until your cast mark flared in front of him anyway. Okay, great. Sam.
Yes. Let's go with. I think Ben gets it for the constant like, oh, I don't want to be here. I want to be in conflict. I want to just go fight something, please.
Okay.
I just don't want to be here. Can we go literally back to somewhere where there's a war going on and now we know who the enemy is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we have that instead of all of this mind bending bullshit?
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. All right. And Aki, my good close friend. Aki, my bestest of friends. Who do you
Aw.
want to vote for?
I'm God, it's so hard to pick. So my vote tonight is going to be for Ben, specifically for the I have a headache. Hacksaw comes out. I don't have a headache anymore.
That was great.
I was so glad that I was muted because I choked on my drink. I was laughing so hard. So
Amazing.
Ben gets it for that. I liked Joe's. Props to Joe for immediately like, yep, all right, I am under arrest. Okay. Mhm.
I don't know why, but I
Yeah.
was
Did
just
not
thinking.
expect it would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, fair enough. Put your votes in the chat, please. The pattern spiders have deliberated, and the one fated to be their best friend of the night is Ben, with a stunning majority. 100% of spiders
Yay.
prefer Ben.
Neat.
Of course. The best when it comes to spitters.
Ben, you also win the player vote, so you get an extra regular and solar XP tonight.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. The pattern spiders picked you because they couldn't pick Sally Che Guevara. Who, God, such a fun character to play. Oh my God, the pattern spiders really like tonight. I think everyone just got a free XP.
Hey.
Yep.
Nice.
thank you, spiders.
Thank you, spiders.
Yep, the spiders are very kind, and as long as you entertain them, they will continue to do so. They also regularly fuck you over, just to be clear. Anyway.
Oh, I know.
Take the lube where I can.
Yep, fair enough. Thank you very much, Pattern Spiders. So, my favorite part of the night, and oh my God, am I excited for it tonight, wild
XP?
mass guessing.
Fuck.
For XP, you can have 3 regular and 4 solar. Tonight was a night of exploration. And then you get a regular from Pattern Spider, and Ben, you get a regular and a solar on top
So
of that.
4 and 4 for everybody except Ben.
Yeah, who gets 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
No,
That's
5
that's
and
right.
Everyone gets 4 and 4, and then
Ben gets +1 from the spider expenditure, +1 from the spider vote, and +1
Yeah,
solar
didn't I
from
get
the
3
player
and 4?
book.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If base is now
I
4 and
literally
4,
marked it
yeah.
down, guys. Don't worry, I got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Great.
I have a table of what we've all earned. So
Blackthorn,
Me
I'm
too.
playing fast and loose with the XP rules. Don't worry about them too much. I'm also doing that for stunt. Blackthorn was asking why you got so much solar XP, such as for acting in your cast. And while I am familiar with the different things that get you a solar XP, I'm playing fast and loose with it because it's more fun this way.
It's fuck you, that's why.
You're getting more XP than normal for some reason. Don't worry about it.
The most important question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Blue book.
No. The most important
Damn
question
it.
of the night is wild mass guessing.
Ah,
So, I want to hear your theories about what exactly the fuck is going on. I'm gonna ask this as a two-parter. So one, what's the fuck up with Autocthon? And his void tech apparently leaking. And two, why this boat? And I'm going to pick at random based on nothing at all. And I'm going to start by putting my good, close best friend Aki on the spot.
shut the fuck up, you palm-colored bitch.
Wow.
It's true. All right. I guess I'm gonna start us off by fucking fucking the door right out the gate. What's going on with Autocthon? That's just how Autocthon is.
Yeah.
We encountered him the last game that
Oh yeah, you
I
have
played
experience.
with
You've met
you. I
Autocthon.
do. Yes. I really like how you played him this time.
Yeah.
And having read Glorious Shotgun Princess, I also I appreciate that I can tell how you've grown with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that iteration of Autocthon. Why this boat? Sally's an elemental, and that's the elemental war.
Oh, so she's an elemental exalt.
Yeah.
Ah, terrestrial.
Or a terrestrial elemental. Yeah.
Yeah, neat. Yes, 100% confirmed. Exalt or Autocthon just be that way. Nothing to read into there. And yeah, you're in a boat filled with terrestrials, or at least Sally, who is just a normal teenager, other than terrestrial exaltation.
Yeah.
Next up, let's do Scald.
So, there was some really bad bread at the at the gala, and we all
got
have
ergot poisoning.
poisoning.
Correct. Actually, this entire thing has been a hallucination. Your exaltation's all of it.
Yep. So
It was all a dream.
if Autocthon is the city and the person and everything in that plane surrounded by bloody chaos, he's starting to be affected by it and all of the inspirations that come along with that, and he's just lost his fucking marbles as a result.
All right. For this is one of the very rare times I'm going to actually give you an answer in wild mass guessing. Actually, Autocthon was like that from day one.
Fair enough.
This is pretty much just him. That doesn't mean there isn't anything going on, but this personality type you're interacting with, he's not going mad. He's a mad scientist. In fact, he is the archetypical mad scientist. Plato's ideal mad scientist.
Well, he's chaos incarnate, and I want to hug him and keep him and love him forever.
He's not chaos incarnate. He invented order.
Chaotically.
Very.
So, as far as crazy boat with crazy people doing crazy things, I mean, clearly they're, not normal, so, and they're fighting a war with other not normal people, so
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Before you redeem that, Nick, I think we have people in the chat now that are actually playing the game. Could you just send me a message? Sorry, Nick redeemed a fate weaving. I wanted to make sure you guys didn't see it. Anyway,
Fuck.
So, did you guys happen to notice that everyone on that boat seems to come from all walks of life?
Yeah.
Anyway, Sue Crown.
Sure did.
I think that we are in a boat of some form of exalt or supernatural being, and
Okay.
that they might be fighting in a war against the Void Tech.
Oh, yeah, good guess. Very cool. Love it. What's up with Autocthon?
He's insane.
Yeah, but I mean, what's up with Autocthon?
What?
Like, yeah, obviously, but like, what else?
I don't know. I know nothing of him. I don't know anything on this lore, so.
Perfect. Love that for you. Witch.
Autocthon is going senile, and the
Potentially.
boat is just full of super soldiers.
Ah, yes. Gotta love them generic super soldiers.
Generic, no-name brand super soldiers.
They're the super
working
soldiers.
for Cthulhu.
The super soldiers that you get from Witch. Yeah, Wish. Nick, granted.
Do not like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so last and certainly not least, I saved you for last, Sam, because you have a breadth of knowledge about the setting. For those who don't know, Sam has been running Exalted for more years than I have been running most games. So what are your theories, buddy?
I love the way that you played Autocthon here,
Mm-hmm.
and how you played Ceaseless.
Ceaseless Perfection of Industry.
Thank you, Ceaseless Perfection of Industry. They're very true to the little I know about Autochthonia, because I have never used the setting or the characters. Accordingly, what I think is going on there is you've taken the premise of the setting and you've just done your own thing with it, and I have no idea where that's going, so I'm gonna just wild guess. There's going to be a twist on it that involves not only is void tech like a thing like it always was in the setting, but it's going to have evolved, which is a neat thing that somebody brought up. Well, what if it's, right, it was Autochthon himself who kind of threw in that.
It can't evolve. It's
unless it's
self-destructive by
changed.
nature.
I'm very right. It can't evolve. Instead, it will have recreated itself
Maybe.
if it has changed. Because he
knows?
said, "I am." He acknowledged, "I am very creative." No, I am very. I can't remember
I'm
the exact word.
very creative, he said, and then in the next breath said that I am very uncreative when speaking kind of more from his void tech side. Autochthon is a very complicated individual.
Yes, exactly.
He has literally innumerable souls. The guy has depth.
Yeah. I mean, in original setting, he has the most countable number of souls of all the primordials, and they talked down to him because of it.
Yep.
But the thing is that, super love this, and I think what's happening is that Void Tech has become something different upon contact with and upon growing in our world.
Okay.
As for the Forever
boat?
War, I think, as for the boat, I think we've entered a Forever War that we are currently spectators in. And I think that we'll somehow become involved because we're frickin' solar exalts. We meddle. It's what we do. If we see something wrong, we fix it. But I just don't know whose side we're going to be ending up on, and I don't know who these people are. Are they, a side we're going to relate to and identify with later? Are they a side that we're going to decide are our enemies, or a third option? I think that we are going to have a decision to make about what part we play in this war that apparently might not be over, but they thought it was over until recently, and then there was a cheer.
Yeah, that's a strange detail.
That is a strange detail, and I'm like, that's important.
Okay, I'm confirming everything, of course. Also, I put in a little detail that I thought you might pick up on, but if you're not super familiar with Autocthon, then or Autochthonia, then never mind. But Cecil's Perfection of Industry vented clarity when you guys arrived because he realized he wasn't conversing with you on like a human level. So he used a charm module to actually vent his clarity, which is similar to limit, but for alchemicals. It makes them less human and more robotic. But he just vented it because you can do that as a alchemical exalt.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a fun touch, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, you guys, this has been a riot. I cannot wait to continue. You can have 48 hours of blue booking. You will be on the boat the whole time. I was going to give you more time, but I changed my mind.
Fuck you.
Hey, not my fault. I got to listen to my bosses.
Oh.
What did you do, Nick?
Is this because of the bike?
Wait though. And also, it's possible for the pattern spiders to say, "Hey, they get blue booking. Here's something that happens post it." So maybe that was a blessing in disguise for us.
Sure,
really?
maybe. I mean, the pattern spiders have been very kind to you tonight.
They have.
Don't give him any ideas. I've already pissed off one of them.
Yeah, so for those who weren't at the last Thoughtless Thursday, one of the pattern spiders built I think a mini bike, right? And jumped on it, and which immediately redeemed no vehicle, so he couldn't use it.
To put in some context, I waited that entire stream building up points specifically to use no vehicle the moment Nick finished making that mini bike.
Completely unrelated to that statement, Nick has fate weaved, and it severely cut short your blue booking.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So you can have 48
Let's
hours.
say-
You will be on this boat.
I regret nothing.
They aren't gonna tell you anything more than you already know, and they seem to be somehow aware when you guys are about to come into a room or anything like that. They pretty much give you run of the place. There's a few places they don't let you go in, and they have extremely good physical security preventing you from entering. So unless one of you wants to try to B&E in a place where people can immediately sense if you're using a charm, you should probably not.
What if I just spend my entire 2 days using my super hearing that was already active when we came in?
Oh, most of the time they're talking in a language that makes absolutely fucking no sense.
Damn.
They use English exclusively when you're around, and you should be able to hear them. But once they're out of earshot for most people, you hear them speaking in this language that actually hurts your brain to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I tried, guys.
Suspicious.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no,
You can have 48 hours of blue booking. You can thank the pattern spiders for that. Thank you, pattern spiders. That saves me some time. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing shrapnel games for the next few days. We finished The Witcher 3, Blood and Wine. We got the worst possible ending. I'm very upset about it. It really fucked me up. And then Nick ruined the entire funeral. So it was a good time, but we're starting shrapnel games tomorrow. I'm going to be playing a game called Vampire Survivors, which is better than it looks. And yeah, can't wait to show you guys. Hey, Exalts, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
bye guys.
Embrace the chaos,
Bye.
folks.
All
Thank you,
right.
Spiders.
Hug me, Daddy. All right, I'll stop.
Thank you, Spiders, for the XP and for whatever you've done to fuck with us, because it just makes for a more interesting story.
Yep.
All right.
That is-
well, now that I'm sufficiently
I'm gonna
broken.
fist fight you in person because you cut my blue booking short.
I regret
You
nothing.
also can't do anything because you're on a boat.
That's fine. I'll just throw a chair at Nick's head IRL.
All right, sounds good. Okay, folks, I'm done for tonight. I'll be back, like I said, tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Can't wait to see you there. And until next time, Bibbles.
Bibbles.